Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Essentials.tf. This is the last time this season, season 48. It's gone on for months at this point, but this is the final game for reals. Is this time open grand final? 6 of the 7 divs have finished, but open. One more game to go. Yakuza and SSS both fighting for this top spot. We've got Stu on production, and we've got Jake joining me on this final historic day at the end of the season 48. How are you doing, Jake?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, it's a beautiful Saturday afternoon, evening for the people watching, and it's going to be definitely an interesting game because it's an open playoffs, right? Anything could happen, and I really like watching teams that have recently started. You know, everyone started somewhere. Just show what they can do, and we can scout out some cool talent. And of course, you know, this is, by any stretch of the imagination, it's not really high stakes. However, for those teams participating, it definitely is. It will set them up for the next season. It will set some expectations, see where everybody shines, and hopefully move up in the leagues a little bit for the next season going forward. So we're going to be bearing witness to this spectacle here. And we're going to be starting with Snakewater, as far as I can see. So it's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, Snakewater, then Sunshine, I believe, is map number 2, and Bagel, if required, will be finishing out on some Koth. Always some good fun. But I look at the results, and Yakuza, they've been kind of tearing it up and open this season. They have had a very, very strong season. They've barely dropped a point the whole way through. They actually beat the Polish squad Triple S, like it was 5-1, I believe, in their week 7 offie. Overall, there was like a golden cap on one map and a 5-0 on the other, so they're probably coming into this feeling pretty confident. But that's the thing, is when playoffs is on and the pressure comes up, like things can go awry, and upsets do happen. So do not count out Triple S. They had some great results of their own this season. So I still think Yakuza favourites for me, but I don't know. Anything can happen.
I mean, I'm gonna stick with my countrymen a little bit here, because they did have a few drops here or there. One of them, as you mentioned, against Yakuza, but. They had a pretty good season overall. They won most of their games. Now they're in the finals, so they definitely have earned their spot to be here tonight. And of course, them being of Polish nation, it holds a special place in my heart. Every single time I see a Polish squad playing, it's always fun to cast, fun to watch, and biased casts are usually the ones that are really fun, Ben.
There's been a lot of Polish teams in Open this season. Was there like 4 full Polish teams?
It's the LAN effect. It's the LAN effect.
It is. Yeah, it's crazy. Hopefully, some of these teams are gonna get on the grind and go and turn up to Poland.tf over in March. Would be good to see. But yeah, there's been like a big uprising. Even like the previous seasons as well. The teams now like going up and playing in load. There's been like a big surge of fresh talent coming in from Poland, which is great to see. But yeah. It could be an even bigger one for them. I think they had a win the other season in Open as well, I believe. Was it Saint Black who won Open, or am I imagining things? I might be imagining things. It's a long time.
Yeah, I think you're like the bigger Wikipedia storage space than I am, really, because most of the teams, like every single time we talk or I see you we're chatting in behind the scenes, you seem to be able to recall just about every team across every single league that there is.
I watch a lot of TF2 is the real thing across all the divisions. I do say that I haven't seen a great deal of Open this season. I've seen a couple of games like between those and the middle teams in Open, but as for the teams making playoffs, I'm not really a fountain of knowledge and experience. I recognize a few of the players in here, like Burby and Josh have been around for a bit of time as players over on Yakuza, but the Triple S team, they're all new to me.
Yeah, speaking of the teams, how about we just introduce the teams as well, and we can talk about them a little bit more. But I'm going to start with the blue team. On the blue side, we have the Yakuza gang, and we're going to start with 197 on the Scout, Burby on the Scout as well, Lupe, and let's create art on Soldiers, Josh and Doorknob rounding it off as Demoman and Medic respectively. On the Polish side, we're going to have Finn, Doc, Darfin, Monkey Spanner, Twistare and Cloud rounding off that squad. So there's a lot of newcomers. I don't really recall anyone I've never cast in these teams, but I'm excited to see them tonight, and I'm excited to see them in the future, hopefully in the higher leagues as well, and so show what they can do and show up to lands as well. I mean, like you mentioned before, we had the Polish LAN. We just came back a month ago from the Dortmund Uberfest, and big thanks to the hosts, Being Esports, just helping us organize this one. Base stack in both locations. So if you're a fan of European jank, European Team Fortress 2, absolutely make sure that you lock down those days as soon as they're released, so you can come and visit. Poland is notoriously cheap when it comes to lodging and food, so you're definitely going to have a good time, and Dortmund is a really good location as well to just kind of come in, as it's central, close to the airport as well, Dusseldorf.
Yeah, I will say when I went to Łódź last year for Poland.tf, it was one of the cheapest trips I've ever been on in my entire life. It was great, and to be fair, the TF2 there was absolutely fantastic. So I think maybe that's actually creeping up on it, isn't it? I think actually the provisional schedule came out for ETF2L just a few days ago, and I think this next season is going to actually start after the Poland LAN. So like that LAN is going to be the next like big TF2 event in Europe, I believe, in like mid-March next year, and like there's potential for like qualifiers and things for that in the meantime. But yeah, it should be good, should be exciting. But for now, we're clinging on to the last moments of this this season. It's a longer season than usual as well because of the week off, and also now playoffs are spread over 3 weeks rather than 4. This season has lasted 11 weeks. 11 weeks ago, these teams were playing at their first offie, like way back in like mid-September. This season has really gone for the long haul. But yeah, Yakuza, Triple S, they're both holding strong. They're both hanging on right until the very end. And they're 12 in server, so I'm not quite sure why we're not starting. I'm not sure if they're like waiting to hear from the casters or something that they can start. But they are good to start. If any of them are in Twitch chat, please A, don't be in Twitch chat because that's against the rules. And B, if you are, you can start the game. That's fine.
we're ready to go essentially at any moment. But speaking of that last season just lasting so long, it's been definitely a journey from the start to finish, and there's been a lot of casts that we've covered here on Essentials that have been really surprising. We also had the LAN coming in between that was hosted on Kritzcast, and there's just a lot of really good Team Fortress 2 being played. But at the same time, I kind of noticed like the meta shifting somewhat to a more defensive style of play, more risk averse almost, if you're willing to take that one. But it's been quite interesting to see what teams kind of try to figure out with the normally pretty stable formula to Team Fortress 2. And that risk aversion is something we really see in the higher leagues. I mean, we've seen the biggest surprise, I would say, but also a welcome one with the French team winning the Premiership. And I'm just curious if we're going to see the same thing happening here. Have these teams been really paying attention and learning from the higher leagues, or do they try to just basically develop the meta on their own?
Yeah, it's quite hard. I think there is obviously value into sort of watching those higher division games and sort of trying to follow the best that they're in. But like at the end of the day, it's all like the best play at Prem level may not be the best play in a lower division, because you might not just have the mechanics, the coordination within your team to back that up. And yeah, of course, if you got those, then you would be a team that is in Prem or whatever, and you'd be able to pull these things off. So I do think you have to play a lot of these like nuanced, like super like weird like defensive setups that we see that are super hard to break through are kind of like more maybe reserved for the higher divs. But now we're in open, we're in the bottom division, and we have two final teams ready to go, ready to battle it out for the open championship. We've got Yakuza, the favourites, over in blue. We've got Triple S in the red. First mid fight on Snakewater. It's a go now.
We're watching here Darfan kind of messing it rollout out a little bit, getting a lot of damage on him, but he's still faster here. Gonna put up a lot of pressure on the choke point as most of the Polish team are rolling through right now. They're looking to establish their position on the middle. Huge jump there by the soldier, but Darfan's gonna go down first, and now followed up by Barbie on the other side. A bit of a stalemate going on here, Ben, but it seems that the Polish team is able to be pushed away by Yakuza. They're just kind of confidently moving in, and once again, we're just looking at this staple Team Fortress 2 from Europe, where teams just kind of don't want to risk too much, they don't want to overcommit, and they just basically decide to roll out to their second faster, and this time it's going to be Yakuza pushing in. Let's Create Arc comes in, quite a huge bomb, but no, he's going to get pushed out by the Scout Clout, making sure that he cannot gain any ground band, but there's following up again. Create Arc comes in once again, trying to get down Monkey Spanner here. It gets the kill in the end, and now they're rolling with the point.
Josh is maybe getting caught. The demo man so weak at the point, going to be taken very low, but gets an arrow just in time. One player still down, Dog getting forced though back in the lobby. Charges traded that one to the second point. It's going to be a scrap, it's going to be messy. Two players already falling in the blue. And how many of these are going to get out alive? I really thought this was rough for Triple S, but they're the ones coming out on top. They're the ones potentially looking to chase forward as there is a scout and a demo man down for the blue team. Yes, point did flip, so they're going to have to slow down and cap that out the poles. But now they can look to move forward. No demo man on mid, no sticky traps. This could be an opportunity to get in.
Definitely, but Yakuza are not let this one go. They're just going in quite hard, trying to lock down the Polish team before they manage to get to middle. And it seems that the Polish team kind of trying to organize themselves on the second point. They're not really looking to just push this one in. They just want to build their Uber charge and wait for an opportunity, and I think that's perfectly fine in this situation. Doorknob, however, is keeping on with the Uber charge as well, and they're also just waiting for the Uber to be built before they decide to push on. So we have a little bit of a stalemate here. We can see Josh just kind of putting up some pressure on the point right now, but the Iron Bomber's not really going to do as much work as he was hoping to, but they have Uber charge ready, Yakuza, and they're ready to push.
Yeah, they're ready to group up again and lower. It worked out rather well last time. Let's Create Art going in once more, very aggressive over towards the bridge, but I think with one of the sacks, yeah, there was a little bit of pressure from lower, but that's not going to be anywhere near enough to get that force out from 2U2. And now there's potential to get players in. They've already got soldiers taking space in Saw. There's potential for one sack to come through. Clearing the stickies is Cloud, but the thing is, it's so difficult. There's still these tiny choke points to get in onto mid from, like, counter-sacking. It's just not easy, especially when, like, Yakuza are showing so much respect. They're backed up all the way onto mid. They're just sitting back, sitting tight, and they're just waiting for their respawner. They just want to slow it down and have them to go up this sack.
There's no real pressure just yet. We just started the game, so both teams have a lot of time to kind of play this out slowly and steadily. Darfun's putting a lot of pressure there on the side and near the health back, and it seems that Yakuza are raring to go, really. Josh is putting a lot of damage here on the point, onto the scouts, but huge bomb coming from Art! Forces Doc out, and that's absolutely massive here for Yakuza. Poles now without the Uber charge, trying to get some ground in. Cloud coming in hard, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do much. Followed up by the soldier. Fustar is now putting a lot of rockets in the team, but he's going to be blown up, and now the entire advantage belongs to Yakuza Ben, and they're not going to let this one go for free. They're just going to push into second.
The soldier behind, the soldier on the medic. On the medic. Oh, rockets coming in, and Monkey, great damage there over onto Dorna, who I thought was actually going to drop for a moment there. 8-2 really close range rockets. But now, second point will be flipping over into the blue, but the important thing for the Poles is the Uber charges have stabilized. They do have a bit of an add on Snake last. It'd be very, very dangerous to push out on that. So they're just chilling, they're getting their heavy up, they're scared of any aggression that might come from Yakuza. So it is kind of a win for Yakuza, but this could have been so much worse if Monkey didn't go behind and get that force out onto Doorknob.
Yeah, you can see Cloud is switching over to Sniper. He's going to be looking for a head or two, maybe equalize the situation a little bit more. Doorknob is really keeping up with the Uber charge with the help of the scout, so they're really keeping up in the Uber charge warrior. Also, they don't really have to risk too much. They're deciding to go through the underground right now, moving the entire team under, and then going to the side, possibly pushing through shutters. They're not just going to wait around. I don't think there is worth... it is worth for them to just stick around. They're probably going to be looking to take Doc out as well, but Finn only just now has put up his level 3 sentry. Art's coming in. He's going to get denied like that. It was a great shot there, and Doc is completely safe. It's going to slow down the Yakuza once more, Ben.
Yeah, that was the gunboats actually did the last bit of damage there from Let's Create Art themselves. We've seen them go for a lot of these single attacks, and to be honest, it's been getting a lot of ground and getting into a lot of dangerous positions with them, but at the end of the day, like, forcing a medical man dispenser when there's so many players looking at it, not going to work. But again, it's the situation they're in. Like I said before, maybe we wouldn't see things slow down too much, but these teams are like, they're playing very, very chill, very tentative, just going for these single sacks, and now they've already got their spawner back in on Yakuza. They're ready to pressure, and they're already going towards drop down and towards shutter, and there are teleporters there, which I suppose is more of a nuisance than anything. But the gun that's spammed down in rather unorthodox position. This is now time. Are the soldiers going to get in? It looks like Luke's thinking about doing it. Let's Create Art also on the other side. His medic could be as dire damage, but Let's Create Art bombs in, gets the force. Really good work from the soldiers on Yakuza, and that's the prize they've been waiting for.
Yeah, Art is definitely playing Roamer the right way, just getting those forces in, you know, sacks himself just really well, getting Doc to pop the Uber charge, and now Doorknob has 100%. They just need to wait for Art to come back, and they're ready to push in without any opposition. So I don't think Yakuza is really playing the wrong game. They're just kind of slowly chipping away at the Poles, and it seems like SSS doesn't really have an answer to what Yakuza has to offer. Sentry's going up again. No, actually, they switched over to the Pyra. I think they don't have the time to build it up again. They also have a heavy weapons guy on the Cloud, so they've abandoned the sniper idea, and they just want to really hunker down and hold this as long as they can. Yakuza is just kind of bleeding time, though. 40% left on Doc to get his Uber charge. They really need to start doing something, and they're pushing from the side, it seems, and they're just going to walk in the open. They don't pop him just yet. They can just bleed it out. Finn is blowing away a lot of sticks, but yeah, there's an Uber charge coming out now, Ben, and the Cloud is in a lot of trouble. He's going to go down. Nobody's on the point at the moment, but they're just putting some scouts on. Finn is trying to block this point as much as possible, but 197 is going on. A lot of kills, and they just get the Uber. in time, and there's just the soldiers on the point, but they're leaving it alone. And that point goes to Yakuza 1-0 due to some unattentiveness from the Poles. I thought they're gonna hold this one, Ben.
That was so close. Like, I didn't realize the Uber was so close to coming up from 2U2, and they get it, but they're just so busy chasing those kills out in lower on those low HP players. But to be fair, Yakuza did not have many health points to share around, but they just won't too far off the point. They've got to keep one shiny player on that point, especially with there's so much cap time coming through. And Yakuza, they snipe at the opportunity. They take it one round up. And that second mid fight is going to be a bit more of a spam war. Last time SSS, they were caught going fairly aggressive up top and took a lot of damage doing so. This time it's going to be more aggressive performance from these two soldiers. Double soldier landing straight in Dawn and taking a whole host of damage there over towards lower, but he's swinging out, but now no, taken down.
Yeah, Darfan managing to follow up, but they're investing a bit too many resources into this, and Art is just gonna create himself an opportunity to take down the medic of his own. Now it's just Finn alive. He does manage to get down Loop, but it's 3 players up to 0 from SSS, and they're just gonna be able to get this point for free. Josh is alive, so he's able to lock this one down as well. 2 scouts, so everything is fine. Burby is now going all the way back to pick up the medic from spawn, forward spawn no less. So the Yakuza once again on the throttle. They are able to create those situations, and even though SSS managed to get some good plays out there, it just simply, they overcommitted and overestimated Yakuza's ferocity and positioning there. And now Yakuza already getting themselves the second point too.
They're so quick. They're so quick. There were 3 players up, and obviously you said 1 went back to collect the medics. There was only 2 players there walking in, just a flank scout and 1 soldier taking space, you know, to second. And this is enough to scare out these last couple of spawners from SSS. And yes, they've lost their demo in lobby, but they have taken the second point for this. Now wondering, did SSS want to try and go for something here? Do they want to try and peek someone into lobbies? Do they want to try and get a bit of aggression going in? Darwin surely thinks so, as we're playing very far up, but you've got to be careful. You can't be losing your demo in certain circumstances. Yeah, they're just gonna chill. They're gonna wake back up. There's 20 minutes left. They've got plenty of time to play with.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that SSS can lock down last. They were able to basically lock it down. They just bit of a mistake there at the end, leaving the point while Uber charged to let the 2 soldiers just cap it, as it was just about done. Now Yakuza once again in the driver's seat. They have the Uber charge. They're pushing in through lobby now. They're just trying to figure out which way to go at the moment. They're just checking out what the sentry is. The sentry is level 3 as well, built by Cloud. Now getting some pressure on top of it, but Cloud is keeping it alive. And they're not letting the Yakuza team come in here. SSS moving the sentry just a bit of a scuffle here, left, right, and center. Dog, however, he's been forced underneath.
Oh, that can't be allowed to happen. Uber charge comes back in very fast. There's only 3 players left alive to defend this, and none of them are shiny. Don't use their Uber very early in the fight. And yes, Ubersoul's going to come out, going to try and get something onto the point. But Yakuza, this last hole just crumbled in a matter of a couple of seconds. I was looking at it, there was a gun there, everyone was in position and healthy. Suddenly the force comes through, and the house of cards just comes tumbling down in a matter of about 10 seconds. And Yakuza already 2-0 up.
Yeah, SSS is just kind of too defensive, I think. I mean, they show that they can create themselves a situation, but you also need to worry about the follow-up. You need to worry about what happens after you get the medic, because last time on mid, they overcommitted and they lost all their players, which meant that Yakuza get themselves 2 points for the price of 1. Now Josh, once again, really quick to middle, but Darfan this time around, he's also managed to get there quick. Bit of damage being put there on the red demo man, but he's staying alive thanks to Doc. Now they're pushing in, looking much better this time around, SSS. But they're losing too many players. Both soldiers are down for the count. They're still keeping up the pressure, though. They don't really want to leave this one for free. Darfan's still putting some timer on the point, but now with the soldier up top, Lupe, putting in damage, it just kind of puts them to a stop, and they need to probably fall back a little bit. Darfan's not letting this one go. Cloud's also coming in onto Josh, but Josh is staying alive. Burby's supporting him on the side. They're still fighting here, SSS. They do get themselves 2 kills.
They're winning it. They were 5v4 for a long time, SSS, but they just kept their heels up, kept healthy, played intelligent fights, and yeah, Cloud and Finn doubling up for some really important work at the tail end of that one. And they're already sacking a soldier in straight onto Doorknob. That's all we're going to see on the first sack attempt. But yeah, I like the idea of just flying straight in there, you know, just pick up. You may as well. You're not going to get a better chance than that with all these spawners coming in. But now Yakuza, their one pick to the goes. They're maybe looking to walk forward, and Burby's already in from catwalk. They might want to push on this.
Yeah, Art is also following up, but it's getting denied here by Monkey Spanner. It's a nice pickup there onto Josh thanks to a sticky trap. That's opening up the entire pathway all the way to second. Now pushing in is Darfan. Both medics are on 100%, so there's going to be a bunch of shiny players very soon. But this seems that Poles are just simply not going to stop. They want to get this second point. They're pushing in. Darfan completely on the fray. Huge bomb there by the soldier as well. Getting those Ubers out, both teams now. Sticking on the point. Burby is just following Doorknob, but Doorknob dropping 2 players. It's not looking too good for the Yakuza clan here, and it seems that SSS are just gonna get themselves the second point, only losing 1 player there, and Monkey Spanner is gonna be able to rejoin that team much faster. They're not waiting. They want to dry push this one too.
Spawners coming in there now. 2 spawners just came in. There is lots of space taken into last, but there's a heavy and there's a soldier there, and there's 300 points of pure Russian damage is going to do a load of work. 197 lasts for a few seconds, but actually the focus fire, it's just there. The heavy cleaned up really nicely. SSS, I was worried for them. I saw them coming in. I saw 2 spawners just rolling out of the door in a soldier and a heavy, and I'm like, sure they don't have the DPS for this, but great focus fire calls. And that's the thing, SSS, we've given them what, like half a chance this entire game, and they've just snapped it up instantly. They're back 1 round away, and what a push.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they were playing a bit too defensively in the first 2 points, and now they just kind of stuck around. You know, they just took this DM fight and slowly but steadily chipped away at Yakuza, and now it seems that Poles are just chasing up. You know, they have a bit of a difference to make up for, but they're just looking much better in this round than before. Now they're taking up top with the Scout and the Soldier, jumping in Monkey Spanner, surfing away. Huge bomb here onto Doorknob, and he gets killed here with the help of the Scout. Cloud takes claim. Now Art and Lupe coming in for Dog. Dog's in a lot of trouble. He tries to dodge away, but he's not going to be able to leave this one alive, and the entire team just getting wiped here just after the medic got killed. And once again, it's just a repeat of the last time. SSS just overcommitting this one, taking down the medic, sure, but there's the entire enemy team still to deal with. Look at this, Art is already on last.
Yeah, they're really playing aggressive. All 3 of the surviving explosive classes from Yakuza already trying to pressure in, but we can go back to that mid-fight just for a moment. Like, the pressure was good, but even though Doorknob goes down, I think Doorknob did a really important job there in just living for like a few extra seconds, because it meant that both those soldiers had to commit their lives, and there was one of the scouts, I can't remember which one, just played very aggressive just to get that last bit of pistol spam damage, and that just meant that, yes, the medic's gone down, but they've lost 2 soldiers, and the rest of the team is out of position. And Yakuza, they clean up easily. Their explosive classes just bomb over the top. They get a free kill onto 2u2, and then at that point the mid is just over completely. So now we're back to a very familiar scenario, and it's a familiar scenario which Yakuza have thrived in so far, which is the situation on their own last. But now they've got a sniper and Cloud to deal with, and they're playing very aggressively on SSS. Look how far in lobby they are. They are really going for this. Doorknob very weak, forced out. So now all eyes on 2u2. Can they get out alive with Ubercharge in check? It seems they're getting out very well so far. 3 players falling for Yakuza. This is a disaster. And they got their medic at the end as well.
Bin is going with a triple kill there. He's going to be finally cleaned up, but it's excellent play there by the Scout, just coming in and cleaning up all the damage done by the damaging classes. And Doc as well, just great arrows there, keeping the team alive. And they're able to just turn this one around. You know, holding so aggressively in the lobby was a bit risky. You know, they could have wiped there very easily, but with Cloud opening up those kills, opening up those sight lines, that really has worked out for them. And now Cloud's back to Scout, so he's able to rejoin the team as a fully fledged part. And Uber's coming out. They have nothing to worry about. Lupe and Art are behind. They need to rejoin the team. Pushing in this Doc with Cloud right now, rejoining the Saw there. But seems that they just got the ground they really needed. They didn't lose that much Uber advantage at all. It's only 30% to 0, and they're able to get themselves the middle point. I think it was a great play there by SSS.
I do. I like those scenarios where, like, you've got like a massive advantage, and you use the Uber really quickly, because then it means, okay, suppose you don't kill the enemy medic and you get lost in this situation. Like, Yakuza don't have that big of an advantage. You say, like 30%, which is, it's pushable, but look, 2u2 is building very hard at the moment. Like, I'm not really sure Yakuza have the time to go for this slowly. They are going to group up towards Kitchen. It looks to me as if they want to come in with Ad, but 2u2 is 10% away. There might be a rude surprise waiting when this Ubercharge comes in.
Yeah, coming in hard is Josh, trying to take down Darfan. They managed to do this, but they're all the way back now. Locos on the side of the red right now, and now Doc with a much later Uber. Finn is taking most of it, trying to take down Josh. There's also a doorknob. How does he live as well? Oh no, and Doc's gonna go down. Now Finn is alone. He's trying to fight this one out, but without a medic is gonna be very difficult, just sacrificing himself there. And I think they're just overcommitted. They tried to lock down Yakuza on the middle, on their own side, and unfortunately they all crumble with just one scout. Now Darfan's trying to stop down this advance from Yakuza. Gonna probably sacrifice himself, but he does take the scout with him. He's still alive, and he's still holding this one down. Now the forward spawns have come out, and Yakuza need to back away from this, as Doorknob was only on 50 HP. Don't want to lose an Uber charge when he's 75% on.
That fight was utterly bonkers. I was... like, I have no idea how on earth Yakuza came out of that on top. They used in thinking it was ad. It wasn't ad. They then get the demo in the midst of it, who's dropped on the Triple S side because he's just about having time. And now they've managed to collapse in and kill basically everyone on Yakuza. And now, on Triple S, excuse me, now Yakuza, they're walking forward and they are trying to cut players off in lobby already. They're going to catch a Demo Man on second point. There is a soldier coming in behind. Punky doing great damage. Trying to just delay this cap just for a few more moments. Is going to manage to delay for a little bit, but there's three players angrily charging towards this red last point, already fighting against Cloud the Heavy. This is still in the balance.
Yeah, they might be able to get a force out of Doc, which is what they're hoping for. Art's coming in, but Cloud is not going to be unyielding there, and dropping Josh as well as Doorknob. Now he needs to get out. Two-star cannot actually follow this up as it was too low HP. Gets an arrow from the medic, so that's at least keeping him healthy. And now Doc is being taxied by Finn all the way to second. I think Yakuza know they need to get out of the situation because they don't have the Uber charge, they don't have the players. They just need to leave this one alone. And SSS, just off the back of a great play on their own second, actually goading the enemy team into pushing in hard, getting those kills was actually quite crucial. And now with both medics at 100%, SSS, well, they're gonna try to see if they can see someone in the middle. Finn is still, most of the team is actually there. Cloud is...
they've used!
Oh no.
This is carnage, this is carnage. They have to start stacking. This is a race of the caps. Who is going to cap first? 8 times on this second point. It looks like Yakuza will win it out. There is no beating an 8-time stack on the point, and now all 6 players all turning tail, all towards the last point. Already 3 times on it. There's players trying to sack it. One soldier there is not going to be enough. And that's the thing, when you've got a coordinated team walking forward like that, they catch the one flank player in Saw. And the Uber from Triple S, it's completely toothless. It just gets bypassed in its entirety as Yakuza, they sneak through and they get their 3rd round on the board.
Yeah, this is a lesson in making sure that you have your flanks covered. If you do not, you don't see what's happening, you're too slow to react to this, and Yakuza just basically put the pedal to the metal and went all the way to last with 8 times on the cap time on the second. So there's no way that Triple S would be able to even get anywhere near to capping middle there and trying to lock down the Yakuza. But now we're back to round 4 in this, or round 5 really, because there's 3-2-1 to Yakuza. Yakuza definitely winning this one and winning once again. Burby taking down Monkey Span, and Freestar is also going to go down. They're still fighting there. There's a lot of problems for Darfan, who's also going to fall down. 3 down for the side of Poles. Dog is low in HP, needs to get out, getting ferried over by Finn, and middle point once again goes to Yakuza. Lupe already on the second point. Yakuza are just not slowing down. They just want to get this one done and dusted.
Yeah, why not when you're getting a Demomang pick on mids so early like that? And yeah, they're going to take second point for free. This is such a familiar scenario. We've been here many times before, but last time it started off with some big picks from Cloud on this sniper where Triple S were able to sort of fight their way back in, and now we see Cloud going for the big peek, see if any Yakuza heads are seen. But currently they're all playing it very smartly on Yakuza. They're all just playing right in towards dungeon. And yeah, Cloud decides to back up, not seeing anything, knows what's up, and decides just to rotate the position.
Yeah, you can see Josh here with Art on the side. The shutters trying to scope out this situation, getting a little bit of damage for the trouble, but overall nothing too scary. There's still no engineer and no heavy for the side of the poles. I think they just want to push off the back of that. Art coming in huge! Oh, barely missing Dog there. Takes down Cloud, however, and Finn also going to go down. That's 2 for 2. And that means Poles just need to stabilize this one a little bit more. Yakuza are probably not going to push this one and missing 2 players, so they're just going to slow it down as well and just wait out those respawners to come back. And once again, I mean, that's what you said before. It's familiar side here. Poles on the defensive. They probably need to start looking into creating some opportunities for themselves. Because if that repeats one more time, they're gonna be on their last point, and that's not a situation you want to be in at this stage in the competition. This is their last game, you know. At this point, throw out all the stops, keep going, do something.
Yeah, they've got to go for something. The timer ticks down just under 9 minutes for Triple S to find 2 rounds to get back into this one. And yeah, these sacks coming in have been so deadly so far. As Let's Create Art goes in one more time, lands straight in over towards Doc, just dances behind the truck. Let's Create Art taken down by that spam from the Cloud Heavy. And now with one soldier pick, I want to see, did Triple S decide to go for anything? Did they decide to maybe try and sack one back? It's hard to do, especially in a map like Snakewater. Your positioning is awful. These tiny choke points to get through over towards the second point. It's so brutal, especially with 2 scouts still alive. So respect them not going for it so far. Snaries will be thinking about it. Bombs up one rocket, goes to the second, not air shot, not landed. A bit late though, because this spawner is going to be slow now. Could be messy.
Could be messy, but I don't think Yakuza are gonna push off the back of one pick on the soldier. I think they're just gonna slow it down. They're really not in a rush. They can just bleed the timer at this point, but they're still looking to create an opportunity and make that divide even bigger for themselves. And that looks like they're gonna go through the shutter, getting a bunch of spam on them, but jumping high is Art. Wall jump as well, going for the medic, but he's gonna crater there. And unfortunately not claim anything from Doc. Doc was ready for this, and Yakuza was getting ready to just kind of see if the situation actually develops and Doc pops or gets dropped. But as soon as Art has gone down, Yakuza's like, nope, goodbye, we're leaving.
Yeah, good effort there from Art. We've seen a couple of these really high bombers landing in good positions, but when there's like not the support for the rest of the team, there's not enough distraction, it can be very, very tough to land on medics playing so far back towards that spawn shutter. But Darfan has actually caught himself in a lot of trouble, and Demoman pick. Now this could spell a lot more trouble. The gun also not built, so they've got a heavy on point instead. Not exactly the ideal setup they're going to want as Josh, Furby, Dawn all walking in from this shutter side. Going to get bumped in from Starry for now. 197 take weak in that exchange. But Uberchargers come back up now for the Triple S side. And yes, the HP bars are weak on Yakuza, but they've got so many extra gamers for this in the post fight. Finn going to have to dive in, but Furby winning the fight to the point. Darfan now, 1 against the will. The medic knocks who you 2 with the fight against Doorknob. They start at the point, almost wins it out. Doorknob so weak in the melee fight. But yeah, Doorknob wins those.
Man, I'm just kind of disheartened a little bit looking at this, because it just looks like SSS have the DM required to stop the game, stop Yakuza from advancing, stop them from capping, and it's just every single time, it's just the player leaves the point at a crucial moment. And Yakuza, you know, so far we've seen that they're not really going to waste an opportunity like this. They're just simply going to stand on the point and get it for free, and it has landed them another point, making that divide even greater. And we're back basically under the middle with SSS 1 point away from losing the map altogether. Freestyle coming in very aggressively, going on to Josh right now. Josh in a lot of trouble, but Josh is going to survive. Freestyle now is following up, but a couple of misplaced rockets now. Both soldiers down. Doorknob was low on HP, but grabs himself a health back. Middle point has been somewhat capped, but with most of the players down for the side of SSS. Oh no, Doc is locked out here. Doc needs to get out. Nice surf, but it's not going to save him. And Yakuza is just on the throttle. They're going all the way to spawn, but the middle point has not been capped yet. They're just going to set this one up and once again push SSS all the way back to their own spawn. Art is putting up himself on top of the little house there. Lupe now replacing him. Fuster in a lot of trouble. Second point's getting capped. Oh my god, I have never believed that SSS are just going to be locked out of their own spawn, but that's what's happening. The Uber's coming out as well. They're going to just lock this one down. The second boy's getting capped in the background, and now finally Uber's out. So many players on the point. Finn is just trying to save the life of the entire situation, Ben.
They're getting their last players. The Pyro's doing great work on point. Finn down to 2 HP finally falls, but now the world is against Monkey, and yeah, it's not looking too fantastic on this little close range point. Yakuza, they're going to take it eventually. One last fly in from Cloud, and oh dear, the BM.
The
dear.
disrespect.
You hate to see
They are
this is
in a final, no less.
Someone stand on it. Someone stand on it. Come on.
Yeah,
over.
I'm seeing some callouts in chat just go and cap this point, like we're not gonna leave. So I think finally, yeah, because I have decided. But this is just ultimate BM, you know, a bit of a at the very end to rub the salt in the wound. You hate to see it, but Yakuza coming out very convincingly 5-1 on Snakewater, going to the second map. Ben, what are your thoughts so far?
Honestly, I think the big deciding factor in that game was the mid fights. I think what was there one mid fight that was won by the Poles all game, and every time the Poles would lose their mid fights, they would lose them in a big way. They're like, how many times are we going from mid straight onto that red last point just within 30 seconds? Like it happened like what 4 or 5 times that game. But we saw like in open play when there's these fights on the middle point, like they were holding their own completely. They had that really good run in when they got the force on second, then got thrown to last with like a few extra players, and where they got their round and they had some other skirmishes around the midpoint. Like once they got in the game, the Poles were holding their own and were doing a great job. It's just that their mid fights really struggled. They were committing so deep trying to get these kills, and like Yakuza were doing such a great job of just like they all take like 3/4 of their HP each. Rather than having like 2 players going down, like rather than Med and Demo going down, they both get taken weak, but then like they're killing like 3 players for it. So it's completely worth. And yeah, on a map like Snake, it's so hard to push out of last, and it's so hard to really break out these defensive situations. I think that's really Yakuza were just able to get the clamp on after these mid fights.
Yeah, every single time I was seeing the mid fight go in the way of Yakuza, I was just kind of expecting the Pulsar are not going to be able to respond to that aggression in any way, shape, or form. I mean, they were trying to hold on to last, but even their last hold on Snakewater was leaving a little bit to be desired there because, you know, they had the right ideas about things. They even pushed out on last like 1 or 2 times, but most of the time, if statistics do not lie, it's just been a Yakuza show all the way through. They had the DM, they had really good plays in the form of Lupe and Art just creating those opportunities for their team, getting a couple of forces out of dock. It's just really worked out for them in the long run, and they were just simply outclassing SSS on every single front, and that was their map. And going into Sunshine now, and this being the SSS's map, I'm expecting to see a little bit of a change here. This is their most comfortable pick, but seeing how Yakuza plays so far, you know, it just seems that the Poles just do not have the heart in the game right now. I feel like they're lacking that bit of extra motivation that Yakuza has, and I think that SSS still can't figure out what is going on with their game plan, and maybe they should take a little bit of extra time before starting Sunshine to get their heads back in the game, get their heart back into the game. They're still not out of this one yet. Yes, it's been a pretty crushing defeat. You just need to pick yourself up and keep going. That is the key.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a different flavor of going into Sunshine. Like I said, the mids were not going well for Triple S last time round. Like it's a completely different kettle of fish over on over Sunshine. Play is entirely different. You've got a load of different stuff you can go for. It's a lot less sort of, at least in the low levels, just sort of sack your soldiers in and push forward. It's a lot. You can play a lot more rotational. You can play slower mid. You can have scouts going for aggression. A lot more like height you can play around as you're rotating. It is a fun mid, and it's one that maybe plays more into the style of Triple S, and that's what they're going to hope for, because it like again maps where it's hard to push out of last from. I'm thinking Sunshine and Snakewater at the top of my head, at the top of the list of places where breaking out is tough. So if you're going on the back foot of every mid fight again on this second map, we could be in for a rough day for Poles. But Yakuza, they've had a great showing so far, and they're maybe hoping to take this one in 2, because that was fairly dominant towards the end.
So I'm going to borrow a page from a book that I wrote in my head like back in 2015 when I was still playing competitive, is that if you really want to make a difference for your team when you're playing in high level competitions or even any level competition, take some time before every game and look at how the enemy team plays and what their team composition is. Just based on that one game I just watched of Yakuza, I can definitely tell that their flank is just a force to be reckoned with. Like, Art is unafraid of taking those fights on the flank, even 1v2 sometimes, and he does create those opportunities. Yeah, sure, he may die most of the time, but the opportunities he creates is what Yakuza usually pushes for. The same thing, once Art comes in and he dies, without really being able to get anything done, Yakuza is just simply going to let him go and just wait for him to respawn, because the opportunity was not created. We're just going to take it slow. We're not afraid to take a 5v6 fight if we are in a good position. So based on those kind of lessons, you could kind of figure out the strategy for this. You know, maybe try to have your flanks a little bit stronger and help cope with what Art is creating, and, you know, follow up by Lupe. And the same thing happened with the medic as well. Twice they went for the medic, and they are able to get the kill in the end, but they also overcommit a lot of resources, and they just kind of like, okay, we got a medic, now what? And they usually just kind of like, okay, we have some more targets to shoot at, but we're low on HP, we committed too many resources, and now we're just gonna get cleaned up. by a team that definitely just knows what they're doing. So maybe there's another thing to keep into consideration. Like, you know, med sacks are great, but maybe you just need to commit less resources, less risk, so you don't end up killing your own medic as well, which has happened twice so far.
Yeah, it's really rough one. I do want to point out just for a moment. You're talking about like how much fun Let's Create Art was having at the last game. They were probably my MVP for that last map. They had a monster performance. I just pulled the logs up now, and they did 320 DPM, like highest on the server by a long way, except for Darfan actually just topped out on the DPM front. But like as a roamer, getting crazy DPM like that and going positive is kind of unreal. So yeah, great performance from Let's Create Art. Like, yeah, Sunshine is the map where, like, if your flank's having fun, you can go for all sorts of crazy things. There's lots of high walls, especially in, like, Valley, where you can start bombing through. Like, sacking in is, I'd say, even nicer than it is on a map like Snakewater. So yeah, like, maybe one to watch out for. But like, Darfan had a great performance on the side though, and was getting caught a couple of times, not really through any fault of their own. But yeah, had a good performance and a loss, but maybe could be looking for something a bit more carry potential on map 2.
Yeah, Josh, as fast as he was in the middle, he wasn't really a great show there. He also was missing out on a lot of damage, so I think it's just more of a soldier show for the side of Yakuza there. But Burby, with 22 kills and 14 assists, just been on the cleanup crew this entire game, you know, just following up those soldiers and just finishing off those kills. And I think that is what really tipped the scale for Yakuza there, just allowed him to be so dominant. He's just having the scouts just cleaning up the damage that the soldiers were making, and it just really worked out. You know, I'm just hoping that Josh shows up a little bit more on this map, just as Darfan was, because Darfan has just been such an anchor for the SSS there. But unfortunately, the damage that he was doing was not really followed up much by the scouts. And yeah, you know, Cloud and Finn did their best, but at the same time, you know, they just kind of got outclassed by the scouts on the side of Yakuza. They're kind of running the show there when it comes to getting those kills. But again, it takes a team effort there to create those opportunities and create the damage that then can be later followed up. And like I said, Yakuza has just been outclassing SSS on all the fronts so far. And I'm hoping that SSS now with that break, we're able to reset themselves a little bit, go on their map that they picked, and show us some good Team Fortress 2 as we're heading into CP Sunshine, SSS versus Yakuza Ben.
Yakuza one map up already. They could end the season here and now on Sunshine if they're able to take this one. But SSS, they're looking forward to potential big later on as the team's already getting here. So this first mid-fight, Josh taking a bit early spam, but he's arrowed back on both teams deciding to rotate in the counterclockwise direction. Darfan taking a lot of spam too. But oh, look at this height, this central high ground control from Yakuza is crazy, and Art just bombs in and does a massive nuke in the death corner. They don't call it the death corner for no reason, as everyone stood in there dies very, very quickly. Yakuza now 3v2 with heal advantage. It's all about can they keep Dawn alive. There's two soldiers in behind, ready to aggress. He bombs in, one rocket towards the point, two rockets, doesn't land any damage so far, has to go underneath, and he's getting cleaned up by 197. And the second soldier now much later bombing in, gonna try and get some health up on top of the bell tower, but it's not gonna work. Two very, very late deaths there from SSS. And what a mid-fight from Yakuza. That high ground control was beautiful.
Absolutely. And now Art once again showing we can do. We've been talking about him in the pre-game to the second map, and so far he's just really showing us that this is not just a one-time thing. He's there for the long run, and Yakuza ruling the second point as well. 100% charge in the bank at the moment. They're just kind of deciding whether to go through the upper or lower lobby. They're going through the bottom right now, and they're just pushing in, trying to make the supercharge as much as possible. They're popping quite late. There's still a bunch of sticks on the point. Now they've just been cleaned up. Nobody from SSS is really there just yet. Doc needs to get that supercharge right now, but oh no, they're getting cleaned up, and now it's just Darfan and Doc, man, and that's looking terrible for them. They need to stick on the point. Darfan's doing the best he can, but with just a death, oh, it's not gonna be enough.
Yeah, that Uber charge came up about 2 seconds too late. They lose 2 players just while that Uber charge is at like 97 or 98%. And yes, with maybe a couple of extra players there to clean up the damage, they could have perhaps held on to that. Because Darfan was doing a lot of damage there, spamming around that point, but there was no scouts still up, no soldiers there to bomb on those damaged players. And we said before, these mid-fights had to change for SSS, and that maybe Sunshine was the one for them. But that first mid-fight was dominant control for Yakuza. Second mid-fight, can they turn things around, or will Yakuza just start running away with this? Big
Josh getting immediately destroyed there by TF2L, and now it seems that SSS have activated. Monkey's now having a bit of a scuffle there up top with Lupe, but Lupe is jumping and trying to create an opportunity there. Doc is low on HP, getting pressured there by 197, finally gonna get killed. Thanks to the soldier, and there's just a scuffle fight going on left, right, and center. Doorknob does survive, but they lost a lot of their resources in the meantime as well. It means that Poles are going to be able to secure themselves that middle point, but with no uber charge. Darfan very far forward, looking to pick up that medic, but seems that he's unable to do so, running out of steam before he reaches that second point, and now Yakuza are going to start holding up on the second. I don't think they really have to risk pushing it, but they do have the opportunity to do so with that 100%.
Yeah, now they've got their spawners and they're going to be looking to doing so because the loop is just the last spawner coming up. Is now the team grouped towards Cafe. They're already putting players up on top onto the height, and they've got some bombers to try and deal with of their own. But on the SSS side, going up 1-for-1, actually the second soldier getting caught down in a monkey. And crucially, this uber charge just hasn't been used. Both the soldiers sacked in for SSS to get this force, and I don't think they dealt any damage over to Doorknob. And now the pressure comes in even further from Yakuza. They're going to use the uber charge on the second point. They're going to try and chase down Darfan, chase down Cloud as well. Both of them seem to be getting out for now. Cloud maybe going 1-for-1 with Darfan underneath, which is maybe a trade that you take looting your demo there to try and get that uber charge out. But Yakuza, they've gained 2 points with that uber ad. That's so good for them.
And leaving Burby as well in the middle point to finish this one off. They were fighting 5v6 and they were winning this one as well. And that just shows how dominant Yakuza is right now. They have everything on lockdown. And now, well, they don't have the uber charge just yet. They have a disadvantage when it comes to the uber. But at the same time, it just seems that SSS are just not really too excited to go out and risk once again. I think they're a little bit too afraid of what Yakuza can create. And with Art doing his thing on the side as well, I think they're just giving him a lot of respect, which is definitely founded, but at the same time, you really need to stop that roamer from destroying every single plan you lay down, because right now it's an art show when it comes to opening. Darfan, however, coming in quite aggressively, trying to put out some sticks on the lobby, but it seems that Yakuza is seeing no opposition. They're just going to walk right through. Now Josh is on the flank right there. Jumping in is Art, but he's going to get cratered, and once again, this is what we talked about before, man. Art just coming in, looking for opportunity. Yakuza waiting. If Art does get a good pick there, they'll push. If he doesn't, they're just gonna dig in and hold.
Yeah, absolutely is the way you play it, especially the round up. There's no rush to try and take like any early trade or anything too aggressive into lobby. We're gonna see Monkey try and go for something in now, but again, Yakuza, they're just so sensible. They're just gonna back up. They don't want to let anyone get caught in lobby. They don't want to perhaps lose any picks, and yeah, they're getting their soldier back in. Doorknob took a bit of damage from spam from top right, but able to get the pack, and there's no threat at all from the Yakuza. They've got their spawners back in, and they're ready for round number 2 aggression.
Once again, the Yakuza are just kind of inching their way forward. They have the 100% uber charge, but so does Doc. So once again, we're probably going to be looking at Art jumping in, looking for a target, able to go in without any opposition from the side. Now jumping in once again, getting himself even higher to get a height advantage. Put some spam onto the medic. Monkey Spanker is just going to have to be back in spawn to get that health back. Bit of a scuffle, but Yakuza is not too afraid. Now there's a kill for Doc onto Lupe, so at least they have one. 197 is also getting pushed out, but he gets himself the health back to survive. And once again, we're back to square one in here. Onto last point. Cloud now going in, trying to create some kind of opportunity. TF2L on the side as well, putting in some damage. Yakuza backing away a little bit more, but Art is still far forward and looking to see if he can pick up maybe a medic pick, maybe a force out. But look, they're back in it again. They got the respawns in. They're moving in. Monkey Spanker now just saw them. He's going to be able to alert the team.
Yeah, there's still no off-class, there's no gun, and that might come back to bite them. 1-for-1 trade on the way in Let's Create Arts. That might not call a halt to the aggression just yet, as the rest of the team on Yakuza just taking their heels and getting ready to perhaps send somebody else in. There's 10 seconds left of this spawner from Finn, so there is potential if Lupe fancies going in, or if one of the scouts fancies like finding a gap, but for now, they're just chilling in lobby, just biding their time and waiting for their soldier to come back in. But in fact, it's not a soldier. We have a rather sneaky class coming up from Let's Create Art. We have a spy.
Oh, I'm actually quite interested in how they managed to figure this one out, but sneaking in right now, I don't think the Pulls are really expecting this one to happen. Maybe he'll use the opportunity to cap the point. Maybe he'll go for the medic, but you know, medic holding it so far back near the spawn is going to be quite difficult to get to that position. But he's just waiting it out. He's sneaking in through, looking for a target. I think the team really knows that there's a spy in play right now. Oh, bumping into him is Dog, but they still haven't realized. Art is just waiting. Oh no, this is a perfect opportunity. Just need to wait out. Just need to be patient about this. They really don't have to rush it too much.
They've checked. Yeah, Finn went back into spawn onto spy and checked the off classes, and yes, the Pyro is back up and deals with that. Could have been such a scary moment there for Doc and the rest of the Triple S team, but the decloak doesn't come in time. Let's clear Art, not creating any backstabs this time around. That's Yakuza now. This time has ticked down. There's a minute left. If they're going to go for something, they have to go for it fairly quickly. They've got their Ubercharge coming in from top left, and oh, it's not got a great deal so far, except a loss of a kill over onto Josh. So that might spell the end of this one. Demoman down, maybe. I guess there's chance of a potential push out here, but like, do you take holding second point if you're Triple S, or do you take the mid fight? Their mid fights haven't looked good, but heading into second is a big risk in itself. Yeah, Yakuza, they're grouping back up. They might go for something else at the very end here, but there's 26 seconds. Is there even time for this?
Yeah, I think they can risk one last push here, Yakuza, and I think that's what they're looking at. You know, neither medic really has the Uber charge, so they're just gonna push dry, and Burby coming under the point, putting some timer on it. Now finally getting stopped by Cloud and Finn. But Darfan, who started Cloud going down, there's a lot of kills on the side of Red, and now it's just a complete wipe, just like that. Triple S dropping a point just before the timer runs out. I don't think they were ready for this.
That's completely unacceptable. That's allowed to happen. That is such a great call from Yakuza, who's getting in and deciding, you know what, they see there's no gun, they see there's no heavy, there's no off classes at all, actually, from a Triple S, and they think, on Yakuza, right, if there's nothing stopping us being on the point, why don't we just go on the point? And yes, I think that the one player that they lose over on Yakuza is that one scout who's pressured the point early, but they draw so many red players to dive back and try and get on it, that they end up winning the fight regardless with a full 6-man wipe. And now Triple S really up against it now. 2 rounds down, only this mid. They're going to rotate left-hand side this time and lose their medic instantly on this mid.
Yeah, that is just disastrous here for Triple S. Now they're trying to create an opportunity for themselves, maybe pick up a couple of kills, and they do just that. Only Burby and Doorknob alive on the team, and they're still fighting Cloud on the medic. Doorknob solo in HP, but he does live. Doorknob is going to be able to get out with the help of Burby just in time, and the Poles just need to do something. Monkey Spanker creators, unfortunately. And now it's just Darfan on the point. Now they're just backing in Yakuza, seeing that there's only a Demoman on the point. They're going to be able to pick up a free kill, and not only that, they're also going to be able to get some timer on the point with the respawns as well. That mid fight is good as done. I mean, it's taken a while, and it seemed that the Poles have it on lock. It's just simply they just didn't realize what happened. They won, and they were too stunned by that fact.
Also, Doorknob as well, like some crazy movement there in Cafe to get onto that pack. Was down to about 10 HP in that fight with the scout, but was able to get to the pack just about in time and reaps the rewards for it now, because now it's Doorknob's turn to have the Uber charge to come in. They're going to have some soldiers to deal with though first. Very weak on Doorknob, but holds on 20 HP. The balls of steel on Doorknob, and there's going to be rewards for them now. 80% on 2v2. As maybe there's a chance to go early, maybe not though, because 2v2 will be getting very soon as the Uber charge comes in.
Yeah, Ubercharge coming in, and well, Cloud is on the point, but there's so many players. Monkey Spanker coming on the point, trying to block it. Now the counter Uber's coming out, and they've learned from the last game, as they're just sticking on the point. They're sticking in close, but now Uber's coming out, and there's so much spam coming out from Josh. They're just gonna be able to clean up shop and get themselves another point. 3-0 here, Ben, and I don't think SSS have it in them to stop what Yakuza has to offer.
That, again, it was almost greatness from SSS. They almost had that. They played too close. They got caught by the Uber charge. They knew they were what, 10-20% away from an Uber charge when the Yakuza team walked in. If they just played a bit more passive, just waited and just stayed alive for those extra few seconds, they could have walked out of spawn with like 4 players with their Uber charge, but they'd lost so many before the fight began that they paid the price for it. Yakuza now 3 rounds up. Once again, going to be these clockwise rotations. As we saw last time, Triple S were having a good time with it before, but the early kick onto 197, it could be going well for them. Darfan taking a lot of spam underneath the point though. He's going to be taking weak and need to get healed up, but massive nuke comes in. The entire flank collapses in onto the rally. Triple S sweeping up everything, and they are back in this round.
Excellent play there, and they're leaving Cloud on the point to finish this one up, moving already on to second. Good idea, and they're going to be able to have that 100% Uber charge. Now they just need to use it in a smart way. They have everything that they need to get that last point and get themselves back into this game. So I'm really hoping that they manage to do so. Now Darfan Finn pushing in from the flank here, going upper. There is a sticky trap, but early pop is a good idea. Gonna stop that kill from happening. 197 is gonna get cleaned up. Finn's on the point already, getting cleaned up by Lupe though. Burby and Lupe still alive, but they're getting cleaned up. Darfan on the point right now. Nice shot there from Monkey Spiker, but he's still alive, and somehow they survive. Now it's just Darfan fighting for his life. At this point, he has nothing to lose. And Josh cleans up shop. It looked so well for them, but those respawns coming in at the just right moment, and great footwork from Yakuza, just jumping in the right time, avoiding so much spam coming out of Darfan, just managed to put them over the edge and get themselves, well, back into this game without losing point. Second point going to the way of Yakuza, and now SSS are gonna lock down on mid with a massive Uber Dizad.
Dare I say it, right? I don't want to sound too doom and gloom for Triple S, but I think if they were to get back in this game, they had to win that round. That's one of those things where you have to win. You just the momentum and how many chances they're going to get like that. They really had to take it, but they just didn't get the time on the point quickly enough. And now, actually, are getting caught on the way in. It could be a bit awkward for this push in. Ubercharge used and no frags found yet, but actually 3 players falling for Yakuza. There's still a couple in. 2v2 coming back in now from Cafe with the rest of the team, as now Dornov might not be in too nice a position, hiding underneath the point with Demo and Scout chasing that one down, and all the frags go again. Okay, I said before they had to win the round. This time you absolutely have to win. There's 16 minutes left. This is your second attempt. This is a gift of a situation now for Triple S. They need to learn from their mistakes from last time, and they need to get themselves into last. Dornov still not even spawned up. Nobody has overheal.
You should just push in at this point if you're SSS, and that's what they're doing, pushing in from the flank with Darfan Finn. Dog now finally getting forced out. They probably would have wanted to milk this one a bit further, but no, they're locking down the spawn. They just need to get some people on that point. Burby now coming in, trying to stop this from happening. There's a lot of kills coming down the way of Yakuza though, and they're just
like this.
Mop off. Immediate deletion of the entire team by Yakuza. So close to greatness, and yet so far.
They had no attention on the right side spawn. They walked in with their Uber, and yeah, they got decently far in before having to use, and Darfan did a good deal of locking off left spawn, but there was no pressure at all towards that right hand side, so everyone was able to waltz out of spawn for free and start contesting the point. Yakuza again holding on, and once more, like, you're only going to get so many of these opportunities in the game. Triple S, they've let 2 of them go awry already, and now Yakuza, at least it's even Ubers. That's the one thing Triple S have got going for them. Both medics did fall in that previous fight, but Dornov decides just, you know what, we're going to walk in, we're going to go aggressive, and we're just going to try and take the space that is gifted to us because Triple S raised such a passive stance, and they're going to have to just give this up completely for free.
Yeah, I think they're just getting pushed out, and yeah, overcommitting would have probably gotten them a few more kills, but seeing how Yakuza plays, playing a bit more conservatively has been good. Now jumping in this Josh, creating some opportunity, followed up by Art, but he's getting deleted, demolished there by Cloud, and that means both medics are very close to each other with fully charged Ubers, and it's just a matter of time that the Ubers are being popped. A lot of shiny players here, a lot of timer on the point by Yakuza, and the Cloud is doing his best with Finn, trying to clean up this mess that they've created and landed themselves in, but it seems that Yakuza once again coming out on top. Darfan doing his best, putting some damage on the scouts, but scouts are so hard to hit.
Oh, the frags.
But they're getting the frags. Indeed, Monkey Spanker coming in the last minute just to mop up shop, and that's what he's doing. Now, there's a lot of trouble for Dornov to survive this one. He's gonna go die as well, and it's looking great here for Triple S's. Art is coming in, trying to stop Doc from, well, living. But no, Doc is gonna survive at 50 HP, keep the team alive, get that Uber charge ad, and even knock on the middle point.
Yeah, there will be forward spawns to contest with, but there is a 60% Uber charge advantage now for 2u2. 197 very, very far in as well is going to be just about escaping. It was close for a moment. I thought Darfan could maybe have cut that one off, but it was good movement there from 197 to get out alive. But now, all eyes on this Uber from 2u2, all eyes on where they can get in from. Seems like so far they're creeping towards the valley side. Lupe can be the one greeting this one, decides, you know what, I don't want anything to do with this advancing combo, backs all the way out. Respect for doing so, but that was a really nice pipe from Josh, getting the kill over towards the Rocket Soldier, and that is that push cancelled? I think they're cancelling it. I don't think they want to go in.
Yeah, I think they should have pushed in anyway. They had the Uber charge, maybe go for a medic pick. But coming in is Josh Hart. I think Josh has just decided to become a roamer at this point because he's been struggling to make himself a prisoner. He gets Cloud. That's huge, actually. Does go down, but that's 1 for 1. Josh is just switching places with his soldiers. As well, he's been having a hard time establishing a presence there for Yakuza. It's just been a soldier and scout show this entire time, and Josh this time around just trying to flip the script a little bit and go on more of an adventure, looking for an opportunity. He's gonna get cleaned up, and seems that not much has been gained from that play. Now TF2 is moving in with the team, just kind of scoping out the situation. Both teams kind of waiting for the other team to make the first move, but it seems that Yakuza are looking quite hungrily towards the cafe, but there is Monkey Spanker there. Don't know if they know about him yet.
Yeah, it's a nice little hiding spot in case he goes too aggressive. And to be fair, Yakuza, they've been pushing very aggressively on some tiny, sometimes even non-existent advantages. So we'll see if they decide to go for anything aggressive, see if they get itchy feet and decide to start walking forward. Darfan currently just doing the usual, just spamming stickies over in this wall, just waiting to land a little bit of damage over onto Dorno. A couple of stickies have landed so far, but not enough to really signal any aggression, any bombs coming in, especially when you've not really got control of Valley, because Loop and 197 are doing such a great job of holding onto that one. Like there's no one there to sack, even if like 100 damage lands on top of Dorno.
I'm just watching. There's a little bit of a exchange there in the chat as well. Both teams just kind of writing, just go on. You take the first move. And then the other team, no, you go first. So right now we have a bit of a stalemate. Monkey Spanker is just having the patience of a Buddhist monk sitting in cafe waiting for the situation. But Art knows. Oh. Art knows. He's just gonna delete him, and I think they're gonna feel pretty good about that too. But neither team really just using this opportunity to do anything. Both teams just happy to sit. And I think in this situation, Yakuza are even more so. But Josh coming in hard, coming on top. We started a bit of a trouble there. Actually gonna get down low on HP, but Cloud's gonna finish up Josh and see if they if the Polish team is going to follow up on this player advantage they've created. Cloud is moving in through Garden here, but it seems that not much is being done. No, the team is following up now. I think they're ready to go in.
Yeah, they're popping in very, very aggressively now with the rest of these players. They got 1 kill on a scout in behind them, assuming the soldiers trade out. New charges used 1 for 1 over in front of the Valley, and Art might be kind of weak in this post fight as well. Could be getting caught by some pikes, and is taken down by Darfan. So now advantage in the red. Triple S wanting to try and get back in on this. Yakuza, they know it. They're all the way back. They don't want to mess about. They know there's 10 minutes left. 3 rounds still to find for Triple S. So Yakuza, they're just content just to take the trade and walk back to their own lads, get their gun built up, get their heavy in play. And Triple S, like they could even start walking forward here. They could start sending sacks before those guns built up. But for me, they're playing this very, very slowly.
Yeah, I don't think they really have too much to risk in this one. I mean, they already map up. They have 3 points up on Sunshine, which has been SSS's pick. So I don't think they have a lot to risk at the moment, and they just want to slow it down a bit and not risk too much. At the same time, I think they're just simply enjoying themselves in this game. It just shows that Yakuza has been very dominant so far, and Triple S just need to figure out some kind of master plan to break what Yakuza has prepared for them in this game. Now, Cloud is on Sniper on the offensive side, so that's actually quite interesting. I'm curious if he's going to be able to create some kind of opportunity out of this, but you can also see Josh just locking down that lobby area. Both teams kind of waiting this one out, seeing if they can pick up some kind of a kill left, right, and center, but it is Triple S that need to make the first move. I'm pretty sure that Yakuza are just happy to sit around for about 9 more minutes.
Yeah, Cloud's had some good shots over on Snake, and actually hits a nice opener there. Over onto Josh with demo down. This could be the go time, and it is actually. They decide to just use it on this, take the gun down instantly. Can they get some count time? Can they get some players over towards this point? Doorknob's turn to use the Uber now, uses it a lot later, and now these 2 frags, these 3 frags might be enough. This demo man though has spawned in. There's weak players from the point. There's lots of damage landing on top of it. There's only 2 players left to really fight this. There's a sniper helping out too, and it is enough. Triple S off of the back of 1 singular sniper shot decide, you know what, we're gonna fly it, we're gonna fight, and they fight on. They've got 1 back, 2 more to find, but they are on a roll.
It's actually been quite well executed, this one. Maybe far from surgical, but they managed to scrap themselves together a win on 1 of the rounds. So, you know, at least it should give them a little bit more will to fight in this game and possibly lead us to a 3rd map. We'll see if Yakuza is just going to let them do that. I think Yakuza right now just kind of slowed it down a little bit for their own good. You know, they don't really... I don't think they treated this game too seriously at the moment, but with that one loss, I think they're gonna go back to 100%.
So much damage.
So much damage. Yeah, Darfin just absolutely demolishing the entire blue team there. And Yakuza just on the back foot. They dropped their medic.
Oh, let's create art. Let's create art. Just makes a wonderful oil painting there of blood and guts on the back of Death Corner, because that was looking fantastic for Triple S, and now it goes even worse as Burby 197 team up to get those final 2 kills. This could have been such a golden opportunity. They did so much damage early on. Darfan was nuking that choke, but they just get caught once more in the death corner. It's as if Let's Create Art thinks, you know what, I see the medic go behind the back of Tetris, instantly bombs every time, and it's working to perfection on repeat. It's a free formula.
It really does work, and you know, the scouts just cleaning up shop there. I mean, Burby and 197 just cleaning up middle. It's been a bit embarrassing here for Cloud and for Finn, but it seems that they're just losing players again. I mean, they did get 2 kills, 3 kills actually. Oh, they may be able to hold on to this. Now jumping in is Darfan looking to chase the medic. Medic actually gone down, and well, Josh, 197, and Lupe, the only players alive on the side of blue. They're gonna see if they can maybe pick up someone up, but Darfan with this amazing direct hit onto Josh, just locking him down. And I just want to say, Ben, I'm looking at this game and I'm feeling this is the exact show of like how yin and yang really works, because you have on the side of Yakuza just excellent soldiers and scouts just completely rocking this entire map, but Josh kind of a bit of a no-show there, whereas on the other side you have Darfin, who's just creating so many opportunities, and then the flanks are just more or less a little bit outclassed. So
please tell me someone checks this soldier. Please tell me someone checks this soldier on mid. Please tell me. Please. Somebody look left. Someone look left, please. Okay, there we go. Okay, someone turned around. I was worried for a moment. Nobody turned around for so long there. I was fearing for Triple S, but now I may be fearing even more, because did they realize this was uber hard? They killed one up in that previous fight. Well, Yakuza playing so passive, and what, the Uber charge comes in, and it's coming in miles away from everyone. Darfan bombs in, Uber charge 100% now for Dornoff, who decides to use it and try and get back in. Darfan taken down, Uber taken down, and now this Uber charge in the blue. It's so late on the use, it's so much better for them. The pistol kills come out on these fucking soldiers, and these last 3 players gonna have to just run all the way out. And again, just Triple S caught being a little bit too slow and a bit clumsy on these pushes in. They could have had a lot more advantage than that had they just gone slightly faster. And the cost is they've lost a point for this. They're still getting spawns coming in at under seconds. There is potential for some more aggression now from the Yakuza if they really want to, but at the end of the day, do they have to? There's 5 minutes left in this game. There's 2 rounds to find for Triple S. Like, Yakuza, they don't have to budge if they don't want to.
No, they can totally just ride this one out, and it seems that they're just happy to do so. They're just healing up in the middle. You know, they have Uber charges are about equal. They have all the players up and alive, so they're just happy to kind of take this one slow and methodical. Josh once again just being quite aggressive there, looking for an opportunity, putting some sticks on to the pad there, but it seems that SSS are just not gonna take any damage there. Art is coming through Cafe, but again, once again, he's just being spotted and stopped. But he's still there, though. You need to be really careful what Art will create out of this situation, but it seems that Yakuza, once again, just kind of ruling over the cards, just dealing the cards. Ooh, there's a lot of damage there on the scouts, but no, it's just going to be Monkey Spanker who's going to go down in this exchange, and with 1 player down, that could be a moment of call for Yakuza to push in, but I don't think they're going to follow this one through. You know, killing 1 soldier is usually not really the reason to push in, especially with both medics have the Uber charge. But some good pipes here from Josh, sticks from Josh onto the combo. Not really being able to do much with it though.
Yeah, it's rough, because like that bomb from Monkey, right? It was a nice little surf in and did a lot of damage to those scouts, but you have to be going for players like that on the defensive in this situation because of the round timer and because of how long there is left in this game. And the fact that, like, yeah, it gets deleted, like, well, that's the reason why normally you don't see soldiers going for bombs like that, because you do just get wrecked by those scouts just stood a little foot on mid. But, like, Triple S, they've not got a choice. They have to be going into these aggressive players, and now they've got 6 players back on the field once more. They're probably going to go for something aggressive somewhere else. So far, it's just Cloud is the furthest one forward, all the way over in Valley, but, like, that's it, really, for now. 3 minutes left. They're taking their time.
Yeah, they don't really have to rush it anyway. Like, they're 3 points up, or 2 points up, really. 3 points on the board. And now
Triple S
Doorknob,
have to rush. They've got
yeah,
to be in.
they need to do something. They need to like wake up and make a call, because at this point they really have nothing to lose. They need to start making some plays. And at the moment they're just waiting for Yakuza to make the first move. And Yakuza's just not gonna do that. Like, they don't have anything to lose. Art's still in Cafe, completely unchecked there, really. I mean, Darfin is kind of holding both the choke and the Cafe by himself. But jumping in is Josh, looking for a kill, but he's just gonna get deleted by Finn there. So quite an easy pickup, and let's see if SSS are going to push off of this. They do, actually. They're starting moving in. They are not less afraid of the sticky trap. They can probably milk the Uber charge a little bit more. And coming in is Lupe. Finally, Doc pops. And now Darfin gets most of it as it was taken down to low HP. Bit of a scuffle there on the flank. Nicely done. Taking down the 197 and Art. But Fustara and Cloud also going down for the count. 4v4 right now. Pushing in as SSS. They're not letting this one go. Choke is now being spammed. Josh is the last one who just rejoined the fight. Coming in his monkey to stop him. But it seems like Yakuza are just going to let this one go. They lost too many players. They're not really willing to risk this one. Just going to slow it down. Hold up on second. And wait.
No soldiers, either of these soldiers both got denied forward spawn on the way forward, but 2u2 dies to the spam over the top of the wall. Oh, that's not the pick you want to be losing in this situation, and that, I dare I say it, I think that might be GG with 2 minutes left. The push completely cancelled. Yakuza now flying out, they're surging forward to this middle point, getting all the kills, no heals anywhere. These health bars are a finite resource now for the rest of the Triple S team, and they're getting cleaned up completely. Midpoint gonna flip. Yakuza on the road to becoming the Open champions for season 48. Still might want to get one more on this, you know, just cement it, show their dominance. There's a sniper to deal with on the way through. Doorknob is in a bit of a predicament there, having to hide behind the fence, but the rest of the team just decides, you know what, we'll just wait for the players to push forward, force the sniper off the angle. And now Yakuza in lobby, ready to take this to last.
Jumping in is Arvis, getting slowed down by Darfin. Darfin once again really playing a good game. Is going to get cleaned up by Burby. Now Twistard is coming in hard onto the point, but it's not going to be enough. 197 on the point right now. They need to stand on the point here, SSS, and they do with the Scout. But Scout's finally going to get cleaned up thin. Now Doc coming in, going to get cleaned up too, and one by one SSS falls just like the point. 4-1 and 47 seconds on the clock for the remainder of this game, and unless you're cheating, there is absolutely no way you can make up this difference now, Ben.
Absolutely not. There's 30 seconds, 3 rounds to find. This is GG, and to be fair, there's not even time for 1 round, never mind 3. So we might see some silly things on this rollout. We've got a crates, we've got snipers, we've got, I think for a moment, I remember the previous round there was a tide turner. We've got Darfan jumping in already onto Let's Create Art there, having a fun little fight. Let's Create Art going as a demo actually, and he's going to win the fight against Darfan. As this is deep garbage time, but that's it. Yakuza, they are your Open Grand Champions for season 40. Yeah, well played to them, and well fought, to be fair, from SSS. They made a good meal of it. I was worried for them when they went down so early by those 2 rounds, but they really fought on. But Yakuza were just the better team on the day, and we're the best team in Open this season.
Yeah, and well deserved as well. I mean, they really have showed a good Team Fortress 2, aside from a couple of BMs which I haven't seen since maybe 2016.
Yeah, there's a little bit of there's quite a lot of BM actually towards the end.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. So maybe they are on. If they are on their best behavior going on forward, I think that we can expect some great things from them. I mean, I am absolutely loving the type of plays that Art has been making and Burby on the cleanup crew. I mean, just like the flank, the soldiers and the scouts on the side of Yakuza have definitely been the stars of the show for tonight. They've been really playing good Team Fortress 2, getting the right pace, getting a lot of damage done, getting the right cleanups, getting, the DM. It's just really worked out for them. But at the same time, I really do have to shout out Darfin on the side of SSS, who's been just such a force to be reckoned with. Like, even in the face of 4 really highly skilled players just kind of mopping up your team, he was just unafraid to go toe-to-toe with them, and actually win a couple of fights for them as well.
Yeah, I think the Polish scouts also stepped up a bit on that second map. I think Cloud and Finn both had some nice moments of cleanup towards the end of the fights, we didn't really see on Snake. But yeah, that's it. There's other things that you could do, right? Like the coordination, the like macro team play over from Yakuza was so much better. Like they were pushing off their small advantages so quickly, which at this sort of level of TF2, that's a massive difference maker. So even obviously there's some players that we've mentioned that's great art, and like they've been having great games. Like I think for me, the big difference maker was more just on the macro. They were making these quick decisions so much better, and they were getting so much more value out of them that like any small advantage went, the house of cards just tumbled completely over from Triple S.
Yeah, and looking at the season, they had a pretty good run so far, and getting a second place in Open is it's not a bad result at all. But they definitely have a couple of things that they do need to review before they go in the next season themselves. As there's a few things that they probably can improve. They haven't really shown us their potential, which I'm sure they do have. It's just seemed that Yakuza were playing at 100% this entire game, whereas maybe 70%, 60% of SSS showed up. Just kind of how it feels to me. We can probably take a look at the logs before we round the season off.
Yeah, it's sort of more of the same what we mentioned, right? Obviously, Darfan went absolutely massive with DPM. Lots of deaths from 2U2, but like we saw that literally every time 2U2 walked around on mid, like there was 2 soldiers in their face, so I can't really criticize too hard on that one. The big one for me is the mid fights were more balanced this time round. Like they were, it was 3 wins for Yakuza, 2 for Triple S, which is like a much better turnout on the mids than we saw over on Snake, because on Snake it was honestly a bit disastrous.
Yeah,
Triple S. These bombs from like they were soaking it up so well with the entire combo of Yakuza on Snake Water. But on Sunshine, I feel like the 2 soldiers over on Triple S got a lot more value.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm looking at the combined logs from both games, and Art with 48 kills himself, Burby with 44, and the next one on the list is Yakuza's 197 with 29 kills. Kind of shows how dominant that soldier has been. But in terms of damage, like you said, it's Darfan. Like Darfan is leading the charts with 334 DPM overall. It's a really good result for a demo. And I think that he should definitely feel proud of that game because he's really done what he could for the team. It's just that when it comes to the flanks, especially coming up against Art, coming up against 197, especially coming up against Burby, you kind of need to have more presence on the flank to help follow this damage up, because otherwise you just do a lot of damage for the medic to get Uber off of. That's what the medic was doing, Doorknob. And I think both medics played a pretty damn good game. I haven't seen any drops, mostly forces. So also a good shout out to them for playing a good game, and good luck going in the next season as well.
Yeah, well, speaking of next season, that's quite some time away. That's at the moment. I'm not sure if the schedule, obviously, it's a temporary schedule, right? Like it's not nothing set in stone just yet. That's still a few months away. So we're going to be signing off. When we sign off at the end of this stream, we'll be signing off for potentially quite a while. There's the Polish LAN, Poland.TF 2025, happening mid-March next year. Potential qualifiers for that coming up in the coming months. I'm not quite sure how the signups for that are going. We'll keep you posted on that if they are to happen. Other than that, there's Ultra Duo Cups going on if anyone's taking part in that. Good luck with the other games. I know that's in full force currently. I don't think there's plans to stream that on Essentials. But there's the Fresh Meat Challenge as well. So any new players coming in, like obviously this is the bottom division that we have of like regular TF2, but we have like the cup for completely fresh new players who've never touched the game before, at least in a competitive capacity. There's a cup for all of you, which is going to be in roughly January. I know the announcement for that is coming out in a couple of days. It's been sort of pre-announced on the ETF2L server in this past few days, so that should be good. And but yeah, this could be a long gap. It's been a long season, and so thank you everyone in chat for coming along with us for the ride. And thank you, Jake, and thank you, Stu, for this great game tonight. But we will we'll sign off, and we'll see you in potentially a few months, potentially a few weeks, depending on what's happening with Poland. We hope you all come back, and we wish you all well and have a good Christmas.